Since 1944, the US dollar has been the undisputed king of the world. Think of it as the invisible glue holding global trade together, the operating system for the entire planet's economy. But in 2026, the cracks aren't just showing, the foundation is shifting. The whole building is groaning. For the first time in nearly a century, central banks are dumping US Treasuries at record speeds. They're selling them off like they're radioactive. And what are they buying instead? Gold. They're hoarding gold like their lives depend on it. Why is the world suddenly so terrified of the mighty greenback? And more importantly, what happens to your bank account, your savings, your retirement, if the king finally loses his crown? The answer might shock you. The movement has a name, and it sounds like something out of a spy movie: de-dollarization. Leading the charge is a group called the BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This isn't just some friendly trade agreement, it's a rebellion. It's a full-blown mutiny against the dollar's dominance. In the last year alone, we've seen China and Russia settle a staggering 80% of their trade in their own currencies, the yuan and the ruble. They're completely bypassing the dollar. Now, with new members joining the club, heavy hitters like Saudi Arabia and Iran, the petrodollar is under direct assault. The petrodollar is the system that has forced the world to buy US dollars to purchase oil since the 1970s. It's the very source of the dollar's global power. But if the world stops needing dollars to buy oil, the demand for US currency doesn't just dip, it craters. It falls off a cliff. Imagine a global economy where oil is priced in yuan, or dirhams, or even a new BRICS currency. That's not science fiction anymore. It's happening right now. So how did we even get here? How did the world's most powerful currency find itself on the ropes? Well, critics argue that Washington paved its own path to this crisis by using the dollar as a weapon of war, freezing the financial reserves of entire nations and kicking countries out of the SWIFT international banking system. The US sent a crystal clear message to everyone else: your money is only yours as long as we agree with you. It's like your landlord telling you they can change the locks anytime you have a disagreement. The rest of the world looked at this and said, no, thank you. They realized they were living in a financial house owned by someone else, and they started building their own exit doors. Now, nations are creating their own digital rails. From tokenized cross-border payment systems in India to China's Bridge project, which connects multiple central banks without ever touching the US system, the world is creating a parallel financial universe. An escape hatch, a network of financial pathways that don't lead back to New York. And while the world is busy looking for an exit, America is facing a terrifying crisis right here at home. The US national debt has exploded past $38 trillion. That number is so huge, it's almost meaningless. To put it in perspective, if you spend $1 million every single day since Jesus was born, you still wouldn't have spent $1 trillion. We owe 38 of those, and here's the scary part. The interest payments alone on that debt now cost more than the entire US defense budget. This creates a horrifying feedback loop, what economists call a debt death spiral. To pay the interest, the US government has to print more money. But printing money out of thin air fuels inflation, which makes everything more expensive. And as inflation rises, the dollar's purchasing power plummets. When the world's reserve currency can't even hold its own value, it stops being a safe haven. That's why gold just smashed through its all-time high, hitting over $4,000 an ounce this year. Gold doesn't pay interest. You can't print more of it. Its value is based on trust. And trust in fiat currency, especially the dollar, is running dangerously thin. So, let's get down to it. Is the dollar going to die tomorrow? Is it going to zero? No, not exactly. It's not like you're going to wake up and your cash is worthless. It still accounts for nearly half of all global transactions. But the decline isn't a sudden crash. It's a slow, steady, structural erosion. Think of it like a melting iceberg. For the average person, this means the pain you're already feeling gets worse. Higher prices at the grocery store, more expensive gas, a nagging feeling that your savings just don't go as far as they used to. Your paycheck buys less and less each year. We are moving from a world of Pax Americana, a world ruled by one currency, to a multipolar order. In this new world, you'll see a basket of different currencies, maybe the yuan, the euro, the rupee, along with gold, and perhaps even digital assets like Bitcoin, all competing for that top spot. The game of musical chairs is ending, And there are suddenly a lot more chairs on stage. But here is the twist. The biggest threat to the dollar isn't China or Russia. It's not the BRICS alliance. The biggest threat is simple math. It's gravity. If America can't get its own fiscal house in order, if it can't stop the debt spiral, the death of the dollar won't be an act of war, it will be an act of basic arithmetic. A force of nature. The era of cheap money, of printing our way to prosperity, is over. The party's finished, and the bill has arrived. The real question is, are you prepared for a world where the dollar is just another currency? I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below. Do you think the dollar can survive the decade? Or are we witnessing the greatest transfer of wealth in human history? Make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into how the world really works. Thanks for watching.